We are live. I'm here with the coach, John Brent.
I'm here with the vet, Mr. Ian Griffin. What's up, man?
What is going on, man?
Oh, man, it's hot. Getting ready to go to camp tomorrow, and it's just crazy around here, but just got back from vacation.
Yeah, so we kind of took the whole month of June off because we went trolloping all over, the Western Hemisphere, I'd say, kind of like that and such. So I figured we'd talk about that today. What do you think, Coach?
That sounds like a good idea. Let everybody know what's going on, and they can tell us below what maybe they did for their vacation.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, do you want to start off or do you want me to start off? How are we going to do this? All right. So the Griffin family, the Griffin clan, the wife, the son, and we took the granddaughter, first vacation with the granddaughter. We went to Florida. And that was a trip in itself. And she's at the age 4.5. Went down to St. Pete Beach on the west side, which is the Gulf side. And eventually we made it over to St. Augustine. We did some pretty cool things there, though. I mean, I did not know this, but St. Pete Beach is ranked the #1 beach in North America. And it's ranked 5th in the world. I would have never known that. But it is gorgeous, hands down. And what I'll say is, while we were there, we spent a lot of time on the beach, of course, and it's down south of Tampa. And but we got a chance to go parasailing. We got a chance to go see some dolphins, and got a chance to go see some. Actually, touch some stingrays, some sea anemones. Which, man, that's wicked because when you touch one of those suckers, you don't know you're touching them. It just feels like water. So I can see how fish get caught up in there is they swim right up in there and they don't even know they're there. And we got to touch some jellyfish. And for us with our granddaughter, it was just immensely eye-opening. She ate every bit of it up. And I mean, at the end of each night, we topped it off, which of course I sent you some photos because I know you like those, with some s'mores that we were eating at night and things of that nature. And then from there, got the son that because it was his birthday time frame. Got to take him up to do some ride in a parachute above the water, and 2 of my boys got to come down, so that made it pretty good. And then we tracked ourselves over to the western side of St. Augustine, which is the oldest city in the United States. People don't know it's a pretty cool city, but we've been there before, and we're tired of St. Augustine. I'll say that, but that's the place to get you some gator food. I will tell you that because we ate alligator a couple times. Granddaughter did not bat an eye, chomped it up like it was nothing. And she has no fear.
Wow.
No fear whatsoever.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. And I will say by the time we got to St. Augustine, we'd done so much that we were kind of tuckered out, to be honest. And but we went through there and got to see some things. I'd been there before and did not realize that that's where the Fountain of Youth was supposed to be at. But if you do the historical side, Ponce de Leon, he just kind of hit the coast and goes, this looks like a good place to call it. And he called it a day is what he did, really. And that was some nasty swamp water. We drank from it. I don't feel like I got any younger, to be honest. And the wife goes, I'll stick to being old before I drink the rest of that crap. She didn't even finish her water. So anyway.
No?
So that kind of –
why not?
No. It tasted like swamp water. It looked nice. It looked like this cool, refreshing. It was hotter than the humidity was outside. I can tell you that. And it just was not pleasing whatsoever. No.
That reminds you, people, if anybody wants to go read Revelation 3, Jesus said, I'd rather spit you out of my mouth about being lukewarm. And he's actually talking about a hot spring, because if you put hot water in your mouth and you think it's good,
well, I'm going to throw it over to you. That kind of like a quick synopsis of what our event was. So I'm going to throw it over to you, Coach, okay?
Sure. Yeah. And you were sending me, I was in the last couple of weeks of my prep for the show, and I was getting these texts and bullshit from you with s'mores and all kind of crap. I almost deleted you from Facebook. But as soon as the prep was over and the show was over, which was a success, then we had just a few days that we were planning to, before we went to Cancun. And we went to a really, really nice resort called the Valentin Imperial Playa resort. And we were just taking care of the whole time. We didn't have to do anything. We never even left the resort. That's how awesome it was. So we were there, experienced. Linda had not flown since we've been together. Linda has refused to fly because years ago she had a bad experience coming back from Chicago, where she says she was flying at 35,000 feet and the plane fell 100,000 feet. She said it felt like it fell 100,000 feet. So she refused to fly anymore. And so finally, after going to hypnosis, drinking lots of wine at the airport, we board the plane. She makes it to Cancun. But just kind of the politics side of it is you can go to Cancun or you can leave and go to Mexico without showing any type of, ridiculous paperwork for a vaccine. So we got there, and when we arrived, we had to, of course, have a passport. I've never seen a line this long. We get off the airplane, they send us in, and we're walking around. I mean, we're going through corridors, we're going upstairs, we're going up everywhere. And finally, someone says, all the people that you pass, that's the line you have to get into to get in the country. So 2 hours later, we get to the end of the line, no problems, get on of course, the shuttle to the resort. We get to the resort, and it is absolutely like a jungle slash a mansion slash beach all in one spot. And they have 6 different restaurants, and all of them are, one's Mediterranean, one's Italian, one's Mexican, one's surf and turf. And it was amazing. The beaches were so freaking awesome. We had a Bali bed on the beach, did the massage on the beach. So I wanted to make sure that I said how amazing it was. We had spring break and take the girls with us. But coming back in the country from the politics side, you have to take a COVID test within 48 hours of coming back into the United States. So there at the resort, when you check in, they schedule you a COVID test. You take it, they send you an email, they give you the paperwork if you pass. If you're negative. If you're positive, which I was hoping for positive, they keep you at the resort 14 more days paid for by the resort. And I wish I could have found some COVID and just put it on me. And I just stayed for a couple more weeks. But we both were negative. We had to show them the test that was negative. And then at the American side, we had to do the same thing. But we didn't really have a lot of problems getting back in the country. I was surprised how easy it really was with COVID going on. Of course, you have to wear the mask on the airplanes and in the airport, but half of them had a whole lot more relaxed than I thought it would have been with this big, huge pandemic at the border, people going in and out like crazy. Everything was packed, and it was good to see. We're going back. We loved Mexico. The people down there, I'll be honest with you, one of the things that we saw is how much they love the Americans down there. But we met one guy, and he made me think of you. We talked to him, and he had moved from one of the poorest areas in Mexico to Cancun to go to work. He wanted to go to Cancun to work there because he knew there would be jobs because of tourists. So we asked him, or actually Linda asked him, are you planning to go to America? And he said, no, I want to do what's best for Mexico, and I want to be successful here in Mexico. He goes, we have all this great stuff in Mexico, and people are leaving. He goes, that's not what we should be doing. We should be staying here, making Mexico as great as we possibly can, because we have so many resources, so many good tourist places, that if we all decided to stay and do something about it, we would have a great country. So I thought that was amazing. But that's
not insane. I just saw something the other day, show the map of the world, and it showed tier 1 countries, which is really the Western countries, the European countries, and United States, and it showed tier 2, which is really Russia and China, and it showed tier 3, which is the poorer countries. It's everything south of Rio Grande in the Western Hemisphere. It's everything in Africa. But one of the things that it talked about was it was very rare that a tier 1 and tier 3 touched each other. It was normally a tier 1 and tier 2 that touched each other, or a tier 3 and a tier 2. But it was very rare. But we have that border on the south, and that's a big issue because what they're saying is the leap between the civilizations are too far apart economically wise, and it keeps spreading is one. But one thing I want to ask you, Coach, so is Linda game for all airplanes now? Is she broken on that, or what's the deal with that?
Well, there's this when we land. They weren't supposed to be serving at both locations in DFW and at Cancun International. But on the way back, one of the ladies, the stewardess on the bottom shelf, had some little wines that she was just giving them out. So that Linda and a couple other people were taking advantage of that for the landing. So the landing in DFW was smooth, and it was a little bit smoother because I believe the wine was a little bit more flowing because they weren't having liquor on there or beer, but they had some wine.
So she's good to take a trip all the way to Australia or Europe now?
No, my thing is I want to get her to Europe. So we're supposed to go in steps, but now she's talking about going back to Cancun. I'm just going to break that and say, not this coming summer, but the summer after, I'm going to book a trip to Europe, and we're going. And if she doesn't go, I'll be on by myself for 2 weeks with an extra ticket. But
so the wife, she's headed off in right after school starts. She's going to Europe for 2 weeks, and then we're both going to go next Christmas time around to the Christkindl markets in Germany. You know, we said, okay, we was going to do it this year, and I said, well, they're a little different on COVID, and I didn't want to play around with that too much, so we're going to do it next year and such. But
well, one of the things I just wanted to hit on, because a lot of people ask me about when going out of the country, and also probably want to ask you the same thing. The people at the resorts, it actually stated on there that they will wear their masks at the resort, but we did not have to. And I didn't see anybody, not one person from no matter where they were from in the world in Cancun wearing a mask, except for the employees that was mandated for them to wear it. So did you have any issues with COVID or the mask or anything when you went to Florida? Is something that you want to talk about?
So there, the only time we didn't wear a mask at all. My two sons, when they flew to Florida from Texas, they wore a mask on the flight. But other than that, we didn't wear a mask at all. We took it with us. And I'm trying to think, when we first went in to check in, it's a timeshare, so they want you to come in and check in and do a little meet and greet a couple of days later and get you to buy more points. And we were supposed to wear it then, but we didn't wear it then. We didn't wear it at all the whole time. There was not a restaurant that required it. They're on both sides, on the East Coast side or the Atlantic side by St. Augustine or by St. Pete Beach. What I did see on the political side, I saw a bunch of DeSantis 2024 flags. I was like, wow, this is early. On the beach out there already. But I did not, with the mask, nothing at all. And we even did a charter, when we went parasailing, no mask there, none at all. So I saw a couple people wearing it, just walking around, but that was more at a restaurant when we went into Tampa, but that was it.
Well, this vacation for me was it was great to get to the beach. It's great to get to Mexico and get away from, the United States and have a vacation and travel again. But this one for me, because of the prep that I just finished for 6 months with the food, this whole thing for me was taking in every single thing that I could eat. I ate everything you could imagine. We had lobster. We went ahead and upgraded to a preferred. So we had lobster with any meal we wanted. So if we went to an Italian restaurant, Mexican restaurant, whatever we went to, they would bring us 2 grilled lobsters, to whatever kind of lobster we wanted. Had that, and every place we went to, we did the 4 to 5 course with the dessert. Had all the desserts. So this whole vacation to me, I'm gonna remember this as the Mexican dessert vacation, and because I had every kind of dessert you could actually have, and I actually left. I have to tell you, I left Texas at 198 pounds, and when I came back, I was 202 pounds, and I guarantee you a lot of that was probably liquor and water more than.
Well, I noticed I didn't see any fried food on there hardly at all. I didn't see any fried catfish, any fried chicken, none of that. But I saw a lot of seafood on there on your post and such. And yeah, I'll say you gotta embrace it and enjoy it. So because it looked good. You look like you had fun. Look like you had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great. And y'all did too, man. I tell you what, seeing you with the kids, and I know some of your kids flew in kind of surprising, but I tell you what, seeing that little girl on the beach and seeing her with you, that made me smile a lot. And when I see those pictures, it just made the heart swell. And, we're going to take the vacation with the family for spring break. And there's some of those memories that you have vacations where everybody goes. We went to a couple years ago. We everyone in a condo, and the memories that we have for that. I mean, I'll take them to the grave with me. There's some of those posts that'll pull up photos that I see, and I remember just all of that. I'll tell you something funny. One time, I have to tell you something funny. I know we're getting close to the end, but my daughter Sydney and I had never really spent a lot of money on food. So when Linda and I got together, we decided we want to go to a restaurant that we saw in one of the Southern magazines. So we booked it about 3 months out. It's the seafood place in Orange Beach. And so we got the whole 5 course. I said something to Linda about the tip's going to be about $100. And Sydney's eyes got really weird. And so we got back to the truck and she said, so how much was the bill if you had to pay a $100 tip? And I said, it was like, I don't know, it was $500 something. And I remember about 2 or 3 weeks later, she was around a friend of hers, and I heard her say, you're not gonna believe that my parents spent $500 on a meal. So that was like a memory that I always have. It's like once in a lifetime, we just went out and just splurged, but it was a memory like that you just can't beat, man. So seeing y'all's memories brought back some of those memories for me, and you'll have those forever, man.
I will say one thing we was really trying to do was when we was in St. Augustine is we'd been there several years before, right before I shipped off to Iraq, and when Gunner was about 3 or 4. And there's a picture, one of my favorite pictures of Gunner is there's a pirate ship behind him. And for a 4-year-old boy, at the time the Pirates of the Caribbean was out and everything, there was nothing more important than that pirate ship. And he's smiling. And we got to see a pirate ship, but we didn't get to see it behind the backdrop we was wanting with Lily, because we was trying to recapture that with a younger one. And I will say this is the first trip with a granddaughter, and it was everything it was cracked up to be plus more, because there was not a moment of disappointment whatsoever in this. We had a blast, and it's stuff like you said, I'll take to the grave, just enjoying it. And as we get ready we got to get out of here though, Coach, and I got to throw a couple things up. Hey, we need some people to come check us out. We took a whole month and a half off, and we need some people to come out there and come check us out on thecoachingevent.com. Share with your friends. Come to our website. Come check out all our stuff. And matter of fact, I do believe I wrote a little Friday Stop to Ponder a few weeks ago about vacations, and you'll be surprised if you read it to know that the Nazis were really big on pushing it because it got the working party to support them. So if you ever hear a European talk about a vacation, they are deep into it because it's sacred to them as a vacation. And other than that, I'm going to say from the coach,
And to the vet.
stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned.